Welcome. Welcome everybody to Hope Sparks Spotlights, where I zero in on inspiring people working in education innovation. I'd like you to meet Nikki Levitan. Nikki is the co-founder of The Visionaries. She's a mum following an unschooling pathway, and her passion is kinship with nature, youth work, community organizing, and self-directed learning. Nikki creates spaces for young people to feel seen, heard, and empowered. At the heart of what she does is supporting healthy leadership in others. Nikki, I could probably go on and on about your background and everything you're doing to support young people. I prefer to hear from you. So please, Nikki, tell me about your work with The Visionaries. Let's begin with that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hope, and thanks for having me. It's quite nice hearing that back. I'm like, oh yeah, I do some important pieces of work. I'm really grateful to be part of The Visionaries. We're an emerging and still growing young organisation, and kind of really at the heart of our work is the young people are at the heart. And we were just having a conversation about almost being stewards for young people and those that work with young people to be able to support them into real healthy adulthood, to be resilient and able to be in the world that they live in. And we do that through various things. Some of it would be training and imparting the wisdoms that we've learned along the way in our own work. We really care a lot about nature connection because we believe in the current global climate crisis. The way to tune in is to be part of nature and see it as something as part of ourselves as opposed to something separate. And just creating a community, which is so important in today. So that's really what we do.
And Nikki, you are in the UK.
Yeah,
correct?
We're based in the UK.
And how many people are, I feel like The Visionaries, you have a number of people involved. It feels to me like a collection of really remarkable people you're working with.
We have a very small core team. Mm-hmm. And then from that place, we have a brilliant group of young people who are our Council of Visionary Youth. And they really help us with the direction that we go in. We seek support from them. We support them. It's very cyclical. And then obviously the young people that have been on our residentials and our programs, be it from our week-long village program to also many of the pioneering educators that we're meeting through our trainings. So it's a real blend of young people and those that are standing side by side with young people. Yes.
I love that you're involving young people as a council. I'm seeing this happen more and more. It's as if the grown-ups are tuning into the fact if we're talking about education innovation or how are we making the learning relevant for our kids is to get them involved, have them at the table, right?
So much. And the projects that I'm part of, one will speak about soon. I see what power happens when we are fully side by side with young people rather than trying to create programs for young people that have them nowhere in the creation of that. Yeah.
Well, the program that I wanted to focus on today is called A Part of Me. And I saw it pop up from one of your colleague Max's feeds, and I thought, oh my goodness, I need to learn more. So Nikki, tell me, what is this program and how does it work?
So A Part of Me is a partner that we're working with, and they actually kind of have really initiated the vision behind this. So A Part of Me are actually become an international app for young people who have lost loved ones. And they wanted to take that app and really actually build communities of young people, because although the app does connect young people through a game where they can explore their grief, this was about doing something outside of that. So the Grief Advocates program, at the heart of it, is about taking young people's grief that they've experienced. That seems to be a real loss of a loved one, but I think it also represents the kind of meta grief that we're living within in the world around us. There's so much grief, so much loss. I think COVID, we saw a lot of that.
Yes.
And it's transforming their grief into action. So our project started in its first cohort where us, the Visionaries, facilitated an online 6-week journey with young people who had lost loved ones. And it was really coming together, getting to know each other, exploring this notion of grief, how it shows up for us, what are the emotions around it, how it's impacting our lives, telling the stories of the loved ones that we've lost, but doing it in a way that also was where there was lightness and fun, as well as depth and all the emotions completely welcome. And then the second part of kind of journeying together through this notion of grief was co-designing a project that they, as young people, would step into offering more young people. So it's a bit like a ripple effect.
Wow. That
and
is
then
beautiful.
Yeah, and the empowerment obviously is spread as like we're one circle. And so now we're in our second phase where these young people have been, we've imparted our training and our wisdom about holding talking circles and how to hold space and how to be a facilitator. And now they're about to embark on holding space for a new cohort of young people who will also go through their version of transforming kind of grief into action.
Brilliant. I love the ripple and the sort of starting with the grief and then that turning into the action where then they are able to help others with their own grief. That's incredible. Where are you finding these cohorts of youth?
So a part of me are really kind of at the heart of recruiting, but actually they've come from, some of them have been involved in other grief related organizations, and some of them have been involved in the embryonic stages of a part of me. Some of them may have just found it by chance through a trusted adult. I mean, we kind of got it sent out there to anyone who might be youth facing, who probably has come across someone that has lost a loved one. So, and also partnership organizations that we're in partnership with, who are youth organizations. So they've kind of come from, it's quite widespread at the moment due to funding. The young people mostly have been from the UK, but that
was my next question.
But when we actually talk, one of the leads, the young grief advocates, he's actually based in Germany. So there you go. It's basically, it doesn't need to live because it's online.
That's music to my ears. That's a beautiful thing, because grief is definitely not only in the UK, as you know, and I'm in Canada. I'm working with people in Bali, in Europe, all over the world, and I'd really be interested to hear from you. If somebody listens to this interview and they're inspired to learn more, and they'd be keen to work with a part of me or the Visionaries to bring this work into their fold or their organization, what specific things would they need to consider, or are there specific things that you would recommend that they keep in mind before they contact you or engage?
I mean, like I say, because it's lived online, that's what really surprised me, because we hold a lot of kind of shared talking circles. Way of Counsel is really at the heart of how we operate as an organization. We really believe in like ceremony and ritual. And Shola, who was the co-facilitator with me and trainer on this program, we were a little bit like, is it going to work online? And it was unbelievable how they it did. We could go so deep. The group could really get to know each other as long as the time difference works for people.
Right.
We were able to almost like touch each other.
Wow.
and
how many people?
Ceremony and ritual. We were a group of around 10, and then it kind of shortened off, and now they're going to expand to another 10. And there was a group that were really committed who stayed on to be the guides. Again, it's about being fluid with that, and trusting that the young people that want to be there, they're going to show up, they're going to be there every week. So I guess if you know someone that is experiencing grief, and that could be like on a micro level, to have lost loved ones. We spoke about this on like grief circles for things that are happening in our world, you know, beyond our micro views or our families and our friends. So that could be around racism, war, climate crisis,
right?
Environment, you know, even education. So knowing that grief's pretty lonely, but it's also something that we're all actually experiencing and feeling. So to be able to connect, like that there is a community of young people and mentors and adults that really also care about this. And on a personal level, it spoke to me because I had lost my father at quite a young age. So it was really intertwined. So I could be there, but side by side with the young people, really understanding, like when they were talking about grief, it wasn't something I was removed from. And I think that if there are people out there who know young people that feel at a loss because of loss, or they're living in quite strong grief, to give them some hope that through processing it and through meeting other people that have been on different but also similar journeys, they can actually turn that into something really meaningful in their lives and not just be overwhelmed by that emotion that can be so strong.
It's a beautiful thing. That's my hope also. I think so much can happen when we connect to a group we trust, and we're seen and we're heard. And what amazing work you're doing. Nikki, how will people find you? I'm going to put the links below, but are there any specific ways that people are interested in learning more about A Part of Me or the Visionaries?
So A Part of Me, if you look up apartofme.app, you'll find...
Put it down below.
Yeah, you'll find, and then the visionaries.org.uk. And at the moment, we've got some advertising. I can even actually share the link to this current program, because if there's someone listening in the UK or even Europe, you might want to be interested. And if you're someone further afield and you're like, wow, how can I learn about this sort of model? We would love to, you know, share that, because it's not something closed. And we've been inspired by other initiatives, like things like death cafes that happen in, you know, globally. So it's about, again, that ripple effect. So if this is stirring something in you, definitely get in touch with us, and also Louis and Ada at A Part of Me, who are committed, you know, child psychotherapists, deeply rooted in this work around grief. And actually are building amazing communities of young advocates and activists. So,
young advocates and activists. I love it. Thank you so much for your time, Nikki. And I will spread far and wide and keep up this amazing work.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Hope.
Pleasure to meet you.
Great to talk to you.
Thank you.